Hey there, folks. This is Foggy, and welcome to day 79 of my year of solo board gaming. And by that, I mean it is day 79 right now. I'm actually recording this late. This is going up pretty much as soon as I finish recording it and putting it onto YouTube. I can put it onto YouTube. We are in the middle of Welcome to Week, or it's Welcome to Week, where we are playing all 7 varieties of Welcome to that I currently have. And I think there's only 7 available, so I think these are all 7. We did Doomsday yesterday to help us with the Future is Bleak week. I'm going to try to keep an eye on the camera, by the way, so if it shifts, hopefully I will catch it. We have ourselves our winter. We're doing the winter one today. We're going to the town of Iceberg. And the winter one is pretty simple. There's nothing really unusual about it, except that at the end of it, you will score for every set of houses that are consecutive numbers. So if this is like 2, 3, 4, you'll draw Christmas lights connecting those houses. And you'll score for the longest string in each row. So if you have a 5 and a 4 here, you'll score 5 for the first street. And you are trying to get as many consecutive houses as possible. This is pretty much, like I said, straightforward. The solo variant, you are simply scoring 25 for the Alexis player. And this week, the way that we're doing the Alexis player is that we started off on 3. And I said that every time that I had a win, I would up the Alexis player by 1. And if I had a loss, I'd lower the Alexis player by 1. So right now, we are on Alexis level 4. And I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm sorry that that's there. The Alexis level 4, a tough opponent. They get tougher as the numbers go up. This one will approve the first contract and last contract, will not get the second one. And more importantly, the divisions between the houses will be 3. So that can be really nasty. They are going to score 2 on the BIS, 2 on the real estate. So that can also be pretty nasty. And essentially, the only thing that they really don't want are the orange temp things, which allow you to basically go up and down 1 or 2 on a number, the other number that you pick. So the way that the Alexis mode works is that you shuffle, divide the deck up into 2. It's pretty close to 2. Then you take the 3 contract cards. They're numbered 1, 2, and 3. And then you'll shuffle. Shuffle this a few times on camera, and then I'll go off camera the last part of it. So I can do this without looking at the top of it. I don't want to see if I end up with a contract right at the top of the deck, because then I'll just keep on shuffling. All right, so not looking. All right, you know what's there. I don't. And now we have our deck. And the way this will work is that we'll go through the deck and we draw 3 cards. So in this case, for example, 7, 11, and 9, all parks. So we're going to get parks first. And what you'll do is use 2 of the cards for whatever purposes you want to use them for. And then for the other card, that goes to Alexis. Now, when you get to the first contract card that gets fulfilled, whether you're the one who does it or the Alexis player does it, you'll then take the discards, shuffle them back into the deck, and start over from scratch. So one of the keys to defeating Alexis is get a contract early so that you can go ahead and complete a contract. We're going to go nice middle of the road here, I think, with 9. And we'll do 9 here. And we'll do park. So we'll take these 2. Those will go into the discards, and we'll give Alexis the other one.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Can you repeat your
Alexa,
question?
stop. Sorry. All right, so now we've got 10, 11, 13. We've got a pool here, and I'd like to get the pool used because that is also pretty valuable for Alexis. They look at the pools as worth 10, as worth 3 points. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use pool in 11 here. The reason I'm doing it that way is that I can put a 10 now right in the middle, and that'll give me my consecutive there. And the reason that you want to, so the contract, the way that the contracts work, there's always the default ones, the 1s and the 2s that come with the base set. And that'll be, for us, it'll be 3 housing estates. The second one is that you have to have a roundabout plus all the pools and all the parks filled in the second row. And then this one is just simply have an entire street that you have Christmas lights on. So this one's going to be tough to do because you have to pretty much fill in an entire street. We'll see how it goes. 8, 9, and 10. So there's our 10. We can actually use that 10. We can also use the 8 combined with a pool. Kind of don't want her to get the pool. I think, though, that's going to end up being my best bet. I mean, I can use the 10 in the pool. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do 10 in pool. Which means I'm kind of wasting the pool. I'm not really using it for any sort of purpose. Which is unfortunate. But I think that was my best bet overall. 8, 15, and 4. We're aggressively filling in this, by the way. And what we'll do is we'll do 6 and 15, I think. We'll go for the park again up here. The reason I'm aggressively filling in that top row is that I do want to try to get it to be the one that I do Christmas lights all the way across. It's worth a lot of points, too. It's worth 14 points. So that'll be pretty big. All right. 6, 7, 10. So here we got our first opportunity to... it puts a 7 in a pool, and I don't have a pool to put it in. But I can't use 6 and 10 in this top row. And I'm more focused on just simply getting one of these contracts completed. So I'm going to go 7. I'm going to waste that pool. I'm going to put in a divider here. So I have my first 3. And now that uses up the 7 and the 10, and it keeps the 6. The other thing to remember is that as you're putting this together, you'll be basically building estates for the Alexis player. And the Alexis player will count the size of their estates, and they'll score the top 5. And so, for example, right now it's got a 5 housing estate, except the bisses will count as 2 each. So each of these count as 2. So right now it is at 7, and then this will multiply it by 2. So right now it's already got 14 points for this estate. Something to keep in mind. 5, 8, and 6. I think this is a no-brainer. I'm going to go with 5. Oh, no, I'm going to go with 8. I'm going to make sure that that is closed. And we're going to do another... We're going to also use the divider there. And what that does is it gives me my first 3 house estate. Which is a huge plus. 5, 2, and 6. All right, as much as I don't want to give it the pool, I'm going to go 5. And I'm going to use the park to keep up the park on the top row. It's going to get the pool as much as I don't want it to get the pool. 7, 5, and 9. So this is our first case where we are going to have to simply go to the next row and then start filling that in. And I can't really do... I could do 5 there. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 5 and the pool. And we'll give it another purple. 14, 6, and 8. So 14 is what we need over here if we want to get this entire thing consecutive. So we're going to use that. We're also going to do one more division here. That way, if we get the 12 and 13, we'll actually complete 2 contracts at once. So we'll go ahead and take these 2, and we'll give it the 6. That also marks the end of its first estate. So now it is building a new one. 6, 4, and 7. So no matter what, I'm not going to use... I'm not going to be able to fill in on this next row. We're going to do a 6 here, I think. We're going to do 4... crud, I don't want to use the bisses. I think this only counts if we use the bis. Like, if we actually use the bis ability. The bis ability basically allows you to bisect a number. So that this 6 would count as 6 and then 6 bis. I'm assuming so I don't want to use the bis ability, but I kind of have to unless I use the temp ability, which I'm going to go ahead and use the temp ability. I'd rather give it the bis than the temp, but And the way that I'm doing this is I'm making this 4 a 6. Actually, I'll do the 7. I'll adjust the 7. I'll put the 4 back in here. I don't think that was the right thing to do. All right, so we got 11, 7, and 11. So we'll go 7 here, I think. And I think we'll go ahead and close out the estate for them. So we'll do the park. No, we'll do that. We'll increase real estate value on the 3s. The smart move would have been actually complete this 3. That was dumb. I messed up. That is not the way I should have done it. 15, 12, and 3. So this is definitely going to be the 12, which unfortunately... No, actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to, again, not use the BIS. We're going to use these two. I'm going to use the temp agency to adjust the 15 down to 13 so I keep the pool available. We'll mark that off. All right, and then pool 7, 3. All right, so we're going to be doing down here. So we'll do 8 and the fence. We'll do the fence here. It's probably not the right thing to do. I probably should have done it here. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It does matter. It does matter, but, you know. 5, 12, 8. And unfortunately, 12 is on the pool, which is kind of what we need. All right, so where can we go here that will make a sense? Make some sense. So we need to put a roundabout, by the way, somewhere in here, which is going to be a little frustrating. I don't want to put a roundabout in there, but if we want to get the second contract, we kind of have to. And it's a little early to be thinking about the roundabout. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 12 here. And I could do 12 up here. If I did 12 up here, I'm going to lose the pool, which I don't want to do, but it completes 2 contracts. It doesn't just complete 1, it completes 2 contracts. Because I'll have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That entire row is done. Yeah, I think that's the better move to do. So we're going to do 12 here. We're going to lose the pool. We'll up our 3 by 1. We'll take these 2. Actually, we'll give it the 8, and we'll take the 5 and the 12. And what that does is it means that not only I'm going to connect all these with Christmas lights, I complete the 3rd contract for 14 points, and I complete the number 1 contract for 8 points, and now we shuffle these back in. So now the Alexis player, basically it shortcuts the Alexis player big time. You know, if you're waiting until you get that first contract card to score, you know, you could be shuffling in a fair number of cards. The idea is that you want to try to limit how many cards Alexa gets when you do the counting at the end of it. And that worked. That worked big time. Plus that also gives me what? My string for the first row, which we can now count, is a whopping 10. So we'll just write in 10 there. The most you can have is 33, which is makes it kind of insane that they gave the Alexis player 25 for their score. That is a lot. That is a very high score to try to beat. But getting 10 on the first row is definitely going to help. Now we're pretty much going to focus on the first and second, the second and third rows. Again, we're going to try for that 3rd contract there. I don't think that marks the end of the game. I think the end of the game conditions are still the same. I mean, they are still the same. Player crosses off their 3rd building permit refusal, or achieves all 3 city plans, or builds all their houses. So if we can get that 3rd city plan, the game will be over. So what we need to do for that, and just to confirm, because this is one of the advanced variant plans that it likes to throw in, it has to have all the parks, all of the pools, and 1 roundabout on the same street. So we still have 2 pools to do. We have a whopping 5 parks to fill in. That's going to be the tough part. Because you still have to get, I think parks have to be on the same street that you fill the house in, and there's only 5 houses left. And we're going to have to put a roundabout in one of those houses. So I don't think we can actually get this now. I don't think. Does that make sense? I am kind of curious why that park has a 2 on it. All of the parks, all of the pools, and one roundabout on the same street. Yeah, we are kind of screwed on that. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. So we're not going to get that third contract, that number 2 contract, easily, unless we do this row. I think we can do it on this row instead of this row. So we'll see how it goes. 5, 3, 9. We don't want it to get the pool. I don't like using bisses, but I think we... Oh, no. You know what we can do? We can do 9. Fill that pool in. And that gets done. And then these 2 go off to the discards. The first one of these I redid for the stream for this week. I put the Alexis cards back into my own deck. So that kind of screwed things up. 2, 9, and 7. I think I want to go with 2 in the pool. Yeah, I want to go with 2 in the pool. And then again, we're sort of like really aggressively trying to get this row filled in. Might not be the smartest idea because we are going to face an issue where we'll be looking at trying to do stuff down here. So I think we want to do 14 and 12. We could do our roundabout, but again, we're not going to be able to get enough parks because we need 5 parks total to be filled in. We could start filling in this row down here. I mean, that's probably the smart thing to do. Just put a 14 up here and start working our way this way. And maybe what we can do is we can get the parks filled in here because we'll actually be starting to go that route. I don't want to spend too long thinking about it here. Yeah, let's go. Could go 14 here. No, let's go 14 here because we are probably going to also, if we're going to do a roundabout, that's going to help us reset the numbers. So that's 14, and we got our first parks on that row. 5, 11, and 15. Oh, you stupid 15. We'll do that for parks, though. 11. So if we're doing this, we're going to go 11. Do another parks. Start aggressively taking those park numbers. It's going to get another dividing line. And the gates kind of are, you know, it's unfortunate to do the gates. All right, so it gets its first contract. Alexis completes contract number 2. You check whether it has a check mark or a slash. It has a check mark, so it does complete this one. So it will get 10 points for contract number 2. And we'll put that over here. We'll flip this. We can still get 5 points for it. But we now are on sort of like the tail end of this. 2, 4, and 5, we definitely do not want it to get that pool. But what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and do... If I did 4 down here, I could do parks here. Yeah, again, we're aggressively trying to close this out. So we'll do 4. And again, we're going to have a roundabout somewhere in here. Now, actually, let's go 5 and pool. So we can close this out. That's another pool. All right. And now it looks at number 3, says, I like the look of number 3, but it's got a slash next to it. So that is the second card it encounters. It does not complete it. 7, 9, and 6. So we want to use the park. That means we're going to do a number 7. We want these to be roughly consecutive. So we'll do 7 here. We'll do the park. And it will take the temp agency. We want to be careful about how many temp agencies we give it. It's low value, but we don't want it to get the points for the whopping 8 points that we get for that. We've got 8, 7, and 9. We'll go 8. It seems like a good way to go. We'll increase our 3s by 1. And it'll get another temp agency. gives it 2. We're tied for that now. We have 9, 10, and 13. I kind of want to do the 13 here, but we don't have the pool to go with it. So we'll do 13 and 10. We'll give it the bis instead. And we'll lower this 13 down to 12. So that'll complete a temp agency. Let's see how quickly we can get this filled in. 1, 9, and 8. So I think we want to be careful here because I think we're going to have to do the roundabout there. We could do it down here. Trying to see if there's someplace better I can do this 1. I could do the 1 here. Let's go ahead and do the 9 here. And here's the plus. We don't have to have the fence on the same street. So we'll do the fence up here and cut this off into a 3. So they got credit for that. This closes out one of its estates. And one of the things you want to be careful of is, you know, if you can avoid having a bis, which counts as more than one house, in the same block as a real estate, that's a plus because you won't get the multiplier then. 10, 11, and 5. So I can do a number of things here. I think I'm going to go... Oof. If I do this, I have to put the roadblock there, the roundabout there. I really need some pools. We're going to go 10. Oh, crud. No, this has to be 10 in a pool, and the roundabout's going to have to go here. That doesn't work otherwise. I could do 5 bis. I'd lose the connection. I think instead I'm going to have to go up here and... Yeah, I'm going to have to go up here. I don't want to go up here. We'll close that out and we'll increase... Do I want to give it a park or do I want to give it the... Let's use the real estate to increase the... Let's take the park. No, the park's not going to be good. Let's increase the 4s. Because it looks like that's what I'm going to be getting here. There are some 4s along with my 3s. Park, temp agency. All right, so none of this looks good. I could go... Can't do any more on this row, unfortunately. And I can't really do much on this row. I can lower one of these to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12. But unfortunately, yeah, it's going to take a... it's going to take a park. We'll go 12 here. We'll do that as a temp agency. And we'll give it the park, which I don't want it to do. But that's the only thing I can fill in. 15, which is not helpful. 8 and 13. 13 is helpful. 13 and pool helps us close that out. Problem is that now I need very specific numbers to finish this off. 14, 5, and 6, and that never happens. You're never going to get those numbers. 5, 6, so we can do 6, and then just maybe do the roundabout at the end here. I think that might be my best bet. But we're going to do 6, and we're going to do another park. Am I going to run it? I'm going to run into the same situation as I did with the top row. All right, so now it's just a matter of filling in the rows. That's all we can really do. We're not going to get that. We're not going to get that second contract because I still need to close this one out with a park. I need to get 2 more with a pool. We need 2 more parks. There's no way for me to put a roundabout in there. Same thing happened with the top row. So that is a tough contract to get. I mean, no matter what. So we do want to focus on trying to make these as consecutive as possible. 8, 15, and 2. There's not much that we can do with this one. We can't put the 15 anywhere. We can't put the 8 anywhere. We We could do a roundabout. We could put a roundabout in. I mean, that's certainly doable. But I think right now we're going to have to do 2 down here, which I don't want to do. I wanted to keep it consecutive, but we will do that as a park. 15. Park. 11. 6. We are starting to run out of options here. So we'll do 11 here. That's, I think, the gimme. And we'll use this divider here. We'll do this as a 3 because I think that's going to be worth more points. So there's that, and it gets this 4, which bit of a negative there. 4, 10, 12. I have my 10 that I can do on the pool. Unfortunately, that's not going to work. I wanted to keep the temp agency, I think. So it'll be 10. How do I want to do this? So I think for this to work, this has to be 10 bis if I want to keep these all consecutive, because I want that to be 10 with a pool. We also know that we're not going to be able to do it no matter what. We could go 4, and then pool. Give it the bis, but I think I'm not wild about doing the bis either. We could go 12 and pool. That's certainly possible. And then just do a roundabout here. Yeah, actually, if I did 12 and pool... Oh, I think we might still be able to do it. Okay, so we're going to do this as 12 and pool. Which means we have to do a roundabout here. That'll divvy this up. We'll mark our first roundabout here. Okay. It'll get the 4. And now, if this last one can be a 1, 2, 3, or 4 with a park, we'll have completed the game. Not sure why I thought I couldn't do that. Unfortunately, I think we have to take a permanent refusal on this one. I can drop that down to 5, but that's not going to work. We're going to give it the 10. We're going to give it to just close out the estate there. But yeah, that's my first permanent refusal. It then gets contract number 1, which it does complete because it is the 3rd contract given, so it will get 4 points on that. It doesn't count as completing all 3 contracts though, so we're still going in the game. 8, 3, and there we go. That is going to be the game. We're going to use these 2. We'll give it this one. 3. Complete the park. We have completed contract number 2 for 5 points. Game is over. Yay. All right, so now let's look at how we did. I'm going to do my scores first, and then I'll try to do the Alexis players' scores with less confusion as I did last time. So we're going to do 8, 5, and 14. That's going to give me 27 points. It's going to get 4 and 10 for 14, so I definitely crushed it there. We're going to have 5 through 12 here is all consecutive, which is nice. That's going to be a total of 7 on top of our 10 there, which is 14. Our longest string here, I think, is just simply going to be 5, unfortunately. So 5 plus 7 plus 10 is 22. Came kind of close. Almost got there. We got 6 points for the parks there, 0 for the parks on the second row, and then 18 for the parks on the third row. So 24 there. We got a total, I always just like to double check on the pools because sometimes I forget. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pools. I definitely forgot a lot of these pools. Should have 7 of these crossed off, so we get 26 points there. We have 4 temp agency. We'll find out how we did once we actually go through their deck. And then as far as the estates go. So we've got 1, 2. Looks like we've just got 2 estates there. If we'd been able to get one more grid there, that would have been nice. But 1 and 2 for this. So that is going to be worth 2 points total. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are 3. That's 30. And then we have 1 that's 4, so that's 5 there. All right. We did not use any bis, so we're going to do a little 0 there. We did use 1 roundabout and 1 permanent refusal. We'll lose 3 points there. Our total is going to be 27 plus 22 is 49. 73 99, 101, 131, 136, 133, which is a pretty good score overall. Now let's take a look at the Alexis player and see how they did. You always want to make sure that you don't shuffle up their cards or rearrange the order. The order here is very important. We'll go through and just sort of arrange these out as best we can and still have it be on screen. It is difficult to do this in a way that allows you to see everything that's on here. And I still have not figured out how to do that. But I think what I'll do is I'll do it like this. I'll do the white cards sort of separately, so it's a little bit easier to see. Slide that off a little bit there. So on the plus side, we gave it a lot of estates. This is going to have to go off screen a little bit here. I do apologize. Yeah, we give it a lot of estates. Good Lord. I was not being careful about that, was I? All right, let's see if I can... Nope, I cannot. All right. Essentially, the camera's not picking up anything down here, so my apologies for this. Slide these all over. That way we can move all this up so you can see everything so we can count this correctly. Because I don't want to repeat of what happened last time. That was embarrassing. All right. Now, as far as the solo mode goes, I just want to make sure that I do count this correctly. So we're going to pull out the solo mode instructions. All right, so it's going to earn 2 points for every park. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 parks total. It earns a total of 10 points. We crushed it on the parks. It will now earn points for each pool. It will earn 3 points for each pool. We did give it a pool very early on. It looks like that is the only one. So it will get 3 points for the pool. Again, we crushed it. We then take a look at the temp agency cards. So it'll get 1, 2, 3, 4 temp agency cards. It gets 1 point each for those. We also use 4 temp agency cards, so that is going to be a push. I'm just going to write down, we tied for first place. I think we both get 7, plus it gets 4 more for the total, so we're going to write that down as 11. And then we count up 1 to 3 points for each fence card. It's going to get 3 points for each fence card. This is where it's going to start crushing us in score. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 24 points. We'll write that here under the first block here, the number 1. And I was trying to figure out how to write this in a way that made sense, but since you're counting up the number of fences and then the total of the 5 estates, that's usually the best place to put it. Points for the 5 largest housing estates. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the number of houses in each one. Each BIS is going to count as 2 houses, so that will affect the overall score there. The biggest one is obviously this one down here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 houses total. Its point value for it, though, is going to be times 2 because of the real estate thing, so it's going to get 20 points for that. This is where it's going to start to come back a little bit. And I think the next ones are going to be this 4 here, which will count as 5 houses total, has a real estate, so that counts as 10. This one is 5 points total as well, but does not have a real estate, so it counts as 5. This one is 3 cards, and I think this will be the next one because we'll take the 3 cards, multiply it by 2 to get 6. And I think the last one is going to be, we could either count this one as 2, we could count this one as 2, we could count this one as 2. It doesn't really matter. It's going to get 2 for its last one. And that is the total score. So it's got 20 for this one. 10 for this one. It got 6 for this one, 5 for this one, and then 2 for one of whichever one you want to count as the 2. And then we don't care about this estate, which is 0 houses, this estate, which is 1 house. That's it. So now we're going to add up its score. It's got 14, 25 for 39, 49, 52, 63, 87, 107, 117, 122, 128, 130, We beat it by 3 points. Holy cow. I just want to make sure I did that right. I'm not missing any more points here. I'm not missing any more points. That's awesome. We did it. We managed to beat level 4 Alexis. So tomorrow we're going to go up to level 5. That's going to be rough. That is rough because the number of bisses, the number of houses for each biss is going to be 4, and I don't like using the bisses, so that is going to make some big estates in the Alexis mode. But that is welcome to Winter Wonderland Edition. We did manage to beat it, and awesome. I'm going to quickly upload this now because it is day 79 right now. And I will try to record the other a couple more for today a little bit later. But for now, I'm going to head off to the grocery store. And please leave me some comments below. And thank you for your patience if you've been desperately waiting for this to come up today. Thank you. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Ciao, everybody.